Muy buenas noches, estamos aquí en la Universidad de San Francisco. I am Dr. Xochitl Chavez, part of the Smithsonian Latino Center live mobile broadcast. We are here with a special event held at the university, organized by Cassandra. Could you tell us a little bit about why you decided, you and the students, to hold a Dia de los Muertos event?
That's a great question. Well, it just this is actually the fourth annual one, and just the first year, I just thought I want to do an event that a lot of different people can participate, and a lot of different departments, and so the first year I brought together Latin American Studies, Salasa, Modern and Classical Languages, and Performing Arts and Social Justice. And basically each year those departments have participated, and now Latinas Unidas has been participating the last 2 years as well. And I just wanted to do something that would bring everybody together and celebrate, but that people could also learn some, I'm a Spanish teacher, so it makes sense, but also could learn something, some cultural, real significance, because I also saw that the stuff that happens in the mission has changed a lot, and I just think people get an idea about Dia de los Muertos that's not really what I would consider the best
representation?
Yes, thank you, the best representation. Yeah, and so I really wanted to have a little bit more of, I don't want to say authentic, but a little bit more of a community-based representation.
And you bring up a really good point. Could you actually tell me just a little bit more about, because I think the Dia de los Muertos in the Mission District was considered to be legendary. What has happened, and either of you all can speak about this if you are from San Francisco natives, to talk about what have you seen as Dia de los Muertos in San Francisco, and then what we're doing here on campus.
Well, I'm not San Francisco native, I'm from Chicago, but just going out to the mission around this time, you do see a lot of people with the face painted, sometimes without a real understanding of what it really means, and that's what I have noticed from being out here the past 4 years.
Likewise, El Dia de los Muertos is my favorite holiday. I adore it. But I went to the mission, I want to say my freshman year, and I'm a senior right now. And it was different than when it was last year. Just looking back at it 3 years from now, you can see that people go out more, and it's not just, a minimalistic face paint. It's now super, super extravagant, with a lot of different cultures. And seeing that and seeing how things have gone from an appreciation for death and a celebration of it to more of a hey, let's go out and party. Because there's a bunch of people out there, and you bring what the loved one, what the passed away ancestor used to love, some of that being alcohol, some of that being food, and so that gets mistranslated a little bit, I feel. So I think this is amazing, what we've done here, and it's great.
And so what is exactly happening here? We see right behind us that we have quite a few tables that are being different types of either face painting, papel picado, and flowers. How did you all decide on what activities to bring in to educate about Dia de los Muertos?
Well, actually, the first couple of years, we just mainly had music and tamales. The event's kind of grown up. And then I had Maria de la Rosa, who's here doing the workshops. I had her actually come to my class, and it was my students were so involved in it, and they enjoyed it, and they really loved learning more in depth about the event and about the day. And we also have an altar at USF on the 3rd floor of Kalmanovitz, and so we went there and we put the flowers that we had made on the altar. But then I decided, well, it'd be great to incorporate those those things into the actual event and have it be kind of a bigger event. So it's kind of grown, and then it's really nice to have Latinas Unidas here to help. This is the first year we've done face painting, and it's really great, and I'm so grateful that they're here. And I just like the idea of people getting to really participate and be creative. And I wish we could have an altar in here. I'm going to try for that next year. But yeah, it's just, and we're going to talk later and help educate people about, like you guys said, about what the actual day is and what it's for, and yeah.
And may I ask, any of you, had you practiced Dia de los Muertos before, maybe in Chicago or at your home? And if not, what have you been learning in that process?
My family actually didn't really celebrate Dia de los Muertos the way I guess it's seen traditionally, you know, with the altars and like face painting and stuff. Something that I definitely knew about. It was a tradition, but it was something that we didn't totally engage in. And I would like to attribute that to the fact that we've been fortunate enough that we haven't really lost anybody too close in our family. And the traditions maybe that my grandma used to do in Mexico didn't really come over with my parents when they came to the U.S. And I think maybe that attributed to it. So I think being here at USF and being a part of this event has definitely taught me a little bit more about what it is to be involved in this kind of tradition. So I'm very excited to be a part of it this year with Latinas Unidas. And I think it brought out a lot of our members as well. So I think getting more student involvement with this event has been great.
Great. And yourself?
So for me personally, I'm from Southern California, from Santana, Orange County. And I, growing up, didn't celebrate it as much. It wasn't until my third year in high school. My grandmother passed away. She was like a second mother to me. Woman was amazing. And I found comfort a lot in the holiday. So what I actually ended up doing is I was president of my National Art Honor Society in high school. I integrated a lot of like the kind of like the altares into a lot of our events. It's more like closing our main event at the end of the year, and I brought light to what it actually means and why we actually celebrate it, why we actually celebrate death, more so said. But I found comfort in it, and now it's more of a celebration than a mourning, and that's helped me through it. So an unconventional, like, brought into the Dia de los Muertos for me.
Yeah, and I did not celebrate it at all in my family either, and but I guess I started celebrating it maybe about 15 years ago, actually with a student who was here from Santana studying, and she was actually she helped me with a lot of other events that I did on campus, and we became really good friends, and she introduced me to son jarocho music and to a lot of traditions that, you know, that people celebrate in California too, right? And so since then, like, a lot of times I go to San Jose. A family that I know there does a big altar, and I didn't get to go this year. And I play a lot of music, and I always have my grandmothers also, because my grandmother was also like my second mom, or maybe even like my first mom. And I'm there on the altar upstairs, and it just, it also helps me through. And it's just really, I think it's probably one of my favorite holidays also. And I like the sense of community, and I like the sense of celebration, and I like the sense of remembering where we came from and who came before us, and that's a joyful thing, right? That they're still really here. I like feeling their presence here. So.
And Cassandra, can you tell me a little bit about the program that you have set up for today? We're seeing not only these type of workshops, but there's also going to be some type of discussion and music. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the way I run my events is a little bit like loosely run, because it's a fiesta, right? And I like it to be, like everybody's just having fun. So we've been doing workshops, and now we'll transition into more of the music part of the event, and we have Patricio Hidalgo here from Veracruz, and some soneros from local, musicians will come, and hopefully a lot of the students will get up and dance. Maybe we'll do a little bit of zapateado workshop, and just have a fiesta, and there'll be some tamales here soon, hopefully, and and we'll have a few people talking about just their, kind of like what we've been doing, a little bit about their experience, maybe a little bit more educational for the students who are here that don't have a personal experience with Dia de los Muertos or don't know much about it. So there'll be probably about 15-20 minutes of people talking about Dia de los Muertos, and then we'll move into some music, and Patricio will play a song by himself, and then other musicians will join him, and hopefully everybody can participate. That's one thing I love about son jarocho music also, is that it's very participatory and community-based. So.
Great. Thank you so much for allowing us to come in here to broadcast and to learn about how you all are celebrating it here in the university setting. So continue to follow us here on the Smithsonian Latino live mobile broadcast. I'm Dr. Xochitl Chavez. Nos vamos a ver en un ratito.